Between now and then, we've had one big shot today with Maidstone United making their way through to round 4. Will they be joined by Middlesbrough or Aston Villa? Will we even find out tonight? Your commentary team at the Riverside Stadium for Middlesbrough versus Aston Villa, Neil Lennon and Vicky Sparks.
Thank you very much, Steve. Hello, everybody, and welcome once more here on 5 Live to the northeast of England. Welcome to the Riverside Stadium, where Aston Villa, who have been going so brilliantly under Unai Emery in 2023, are looking to kick off this new year as they kick us off here at the Riverside by ending their FA Cup hoodoo. Neil Lennon alongside me. It is remarkable to think that Aston Villa haven't reached the 4th round of this competition since 2016. But under Unai Emery, do they have, given that he's named a strong side as well, a good chance of ending that hoodoo here this evening?
Well, yeah, I mean, you'd have to say the favourites coming into the game, but you can't underestimate Middlesbrough at home. And Unai Emery will want to, dissolve that record, today. I mean, it's an incredible record when you think of the quality of players that Villa have had over the past few years. It's interesting, Vicky, that Middlesbrough have lined up like a 3-4-3, so obviously Michael's, making sure that they're compact at the back and good on the counter-attack here.
Yeah, it's Aston Villa who've got us underway here at the Riverside. So far, they've not got out of their own half from that kick-off. They are playing in the white shirts, the pale blue shorts and the white socks. Middlesbrough in their all-red home kit as Aston Villa go all the way back to Emi Martinez in goal. Unai Emery has made 4 changes for this game. Kamara back from suspension, Cash back from illness, Duran and Dendonka also coming in, so Watkins, Luiz Diaby and Carlos dropping to the bench. But it is still a strong lineup as they're still inside their own half, Aston Villa. Middlesbrough going strong as well. They are ravaged with injuries at the moment. They have players away on Africa Cup of Nations and Asian Cup duty as well. Sitting 12th in the Championship, 30 places below Aston Villa, the obligatory football pyramid check in terms of where these two sides are. As it's Aston Villa coming forward into the penalty area goes Jacob Ramsey, cleared away by Middlesbrough. And Isaiah Jones should be able to clear that away and does so, and wins the throw as well. So just 2 changes from the Middlesbrough boss, Michael Carrick, who of course tasted the glory of winning this competition as a player with Manchester United. Influential midfielder Hayden Hackney is back from injury for Middlesbrough, his first appearance at the end of November. The other change, Alex Bangura coming in, captain Johnny Howson and Dale Fry dropping to the bench, and an early goal in one of the other 5:30 FA Cup kickoffs. Sheffield Wednesday against Cardiff. Which way has it gone, Sani Rajabadjala?
Well, it's gone to Sheffield Wednesday. Josh Windass getting the ball a minute in and shooting from distance. But just as you come to me, Cardiff City have been awarded a penalty. So come back to us in a moment because it could be 1-1. But currently it's Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff City 0.
Cracking start there. We'll be back with Sani shortly. Here at the Riverside, it is goalless in the early stages between Middlesbrough and Aston Villa, and it's all Aston Villa in terms of possession so far. I'll take you through the lineup shortly. Let's head back for that penalty at Hillsborough.
Well, it's currently Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff City 0. A penalty, though, has been awarded. We are 3 minutes into this game. And not too many fans present, but those who are already getting a spectacle. The ball is on the spot. Player who just is getting himself settled. Referee blows his whistle. It's struck and is saved by the goalkeeper. Saved by the keeper. It remains Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff City 0. Cameron Dawson with the big save.
What a start for Sheffield Wednesday. And still goalless here at the Riverside. We'll be bringing you updates of Chelsea against Preston, Swansea against Morecambe as well, as Middlesbrough win the free kick just inside their own half, and we have time to take you through those lineups. So Tom Glover in goal for Middlesbrough. Their back 5 will be mostly in possession of Isaiah Jones, Rav Vandenberg, Matt Clark, Lucas Engel and Alex Bangura. Ahead of them, Morgan Rogers, Hayden Hackney, Dan Barlaser and Sam Greenwood, Josh Coburn up front as Middlesbrough have the ball just outside their own penalty area. And the free kick is conceded by Aston Villa's John Duran. Neil Lennon.
Yeah, they're lucky there. Middlesbrough Glover made a complete hash of the clearance, but Vandenberg recovered very quickly. It's fascinating that Michael Carrick.
Could be in behind here, Coburn, but the flag goes up. Emi Martinez was very quickly out to clear away.
That's a really high line that Emery plays. It's going to be fascinating watching that tonight as well. But Michael's more or less matched up the midfield areas, and he's got an extra man at the back, which means, Vicky, that I think both fullbacks for Villa are going to see a lot of the ball tonight.
So Aston Villa taking this free kick midway inside their own half. Villa, who have Martinez in goal. The back four of Cash, Concert, Longley and Moreno. Ahead of them, McGinn, Kamara and Tendonka, with Diaby, Ramsey and Duran up top as the ball is cleared away by Tom Glover. Arrived at Middlesbrough this summer after leaving Melbourne City. He has been number 2 for most of this season, but playing of late with their regular number 1, Seny Dieng, out injured, and Dieng is now after the Africa Cup of Nations, so he will get a continued run in the team, Glover. As here comes Kamara with the run over the halfway line for Aston Villa. Premier League side enjoying all the possession so far, but already Josh Coburn, Middlesbrough striker, showing what he can do, getting in behind. That offside flag going up, but as Neil Lennon alongside me at the Riverside says, that high line that Aston Villa will play will be tested by Coburn, who's in good form at the moment. 5 goals for the season, looking to score for the 3rd game running. Here are Aston Villa on the halfway line. Are you surprised at how strong both managers have gone? Well, we should say Middlesbrough have a host of players out injured, and as we mentioned, players away on international duty as well at the Africa Cup of Nations and the Asian Cup. But Michael Carrick could have said, right, I'll throw a load of youngsters in. Hasn't done so, and Unai Emery just the 4 changes, and the likes of Watkins and Louise on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Emery's choice of teams doesn't surprise me. He'll want to go forward in this competition and keep momentum going for Villa. And then, if you heard Michael's interview on the way down this morning with Steve, and the FA Cup meant a lot to him as a young lad, and obviously winning it when he was later on in his career. It's always great to be in cup competitions. I know from my own experience it can sort of make your season really, and they'll want to compete against Aston Villa. They won't want to just lay down, and I think they'll give them a game, although it's very, very tactical at the minute. The way Michael set the team up, it's very defensive minded. And Coburn up there on his own, but that's a great ball there, and it's good play from Middlesbrough.
Plays it back to Morgan Rogers, who looks for that ball over the top for Josh Coburn. Cleared away by Emi Martinez, all in black. What a start it's been at Sheffield Wednesday. Another penalty's been awarded, that will be back there shortly, but Aston Villa inside the penalty area. Good save by Glover. Duran with the drive, it's behind for a corner, back to Hillsborough. Sani Rudravajula.
I have never seen anything like this. Cameron Dawson, the Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper, has just saved a second penalty for Wednesday. This time it was the striker who has come on for his first start in quite a while, Callum Robinson, who missed it. The first one was missed, oh my goodness, by Ryan Winsell, the captain. We are currently Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff City 0, and Cardiff have missed 2 penalties.
What a start. What a start at Hillsborough. Sometimes you just feel it might be your night. Maybe it is. As Leon Bailey's ball into the area was cleared away. Villa didn't make that much from the first corner. Can they do more with the second?
I'm just looking at Austin McPhee. He's the set player coach, so he's trying to organise the Villa players here. He's out, he's marching his orders. Corner's going to come in now.
Let's see what John McGinn does with this one. That right arm raised in the air, swung in high to the corner of the 6-yard box. It's headed away by Matt Clark, the Middlesbrough centre-half, and collected by Aston Villa on the halfway line. Middlesbrough can't get out of their own half at the moment. Good pressure this from Unai Emery's side. Still goalless in the early stages as Leon Bailey sees his cross into the area, blocked. We'll come back to him, and Bailey digs the ball in, whipped across the 6-yard box by Moreno. Nobody was there. Middlesbrough will clear with Engel, and in field he goes, midway through the Middlesbrough half to Coburn. He's well closed down. In the end, not deemed well closed down by our referee Robert Jones. He says there was a foul on Engel, and there's a
What's
free
a
kick to
ball that was
Middlesbrough.
from Bailey. That was beautifully weighted into the flight of Moreno. He really should have done better. He's in a great position. Didn't pick anyone out, went too long, but great bit of skill. We're seeing a little bit of the cameo and the quality of Villa already. Duran with a great shot, great movement earlier on, so they look very powerful going forward, Vicky.
Yeah, rare chance for John Duran to impress up front for Aston Villa as Emi Martinez plays the ball out at the back to Clement Longley. He's made 13 substitute appearances in the Premier League this season, Duran, but of course you're never going to displace a man in the form of Ollie Watkins with the formation that Emery's playing at the moment. looking to make his impression in the FA Cup, as Aston Villa are. They have lost their last 8 games in this competition, all the way back since that 3rd round replay win against Wickham back in January of 2016. No side has lost 9 in a row in the competition whilst playing in the top 2 divisions, as Aston Villa have done during that time period, as the sliding challenge is made over on the far side by Sam Greenwood on loan from Leeds. And the ball goes out of play for an Aston Villa throw. Neil Lennon.
I think he's made a wee tweak, Emery, already. Bailey's playing like high and wide on the right hand side. I was sort of expecting him to play up with Duran in a 4-4-2. It looks like McGinn's more or less going to be the central one to get around Duran, and Bailey's playing high and wide, which is maybe to combat the 3-4-3 from Michael.
Yeah, you've got Ramsey out on this left hand side at the moment, and as Neil says, Bailey out on the right hand side now. Duran through the centre. The ball goes out of play for a Middlesbrough throw. Good travelling crowds up from Aston Villa. Across the pitch just away to our right hand side. A reminder, you can watch this match on BBC One as well. 10 minutes played. It is goalless here at the Riverside. Middlesbrough, who have already reached the semi-finals of the League Cup this season. We have the first leg of the last 4 here at home to Chelsea on Tuesday. They break down that left-hand side, but the ball looking for Alex Bangura is cut out. And Aston Villa will pick it up over on that far side. But a first chance for Bangura to get forwards. He's playing at left wing back today, the Sierra Leone international. Can play at left back or left wing, so very comfortable position for him to combine the two. So goalless between Chelsea and Preston in the other 5:30 kickoff, as it is between Swansea and Morecambe. You can listen to Chelsea Preston over on Sports Extra. And the early drama has all come at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday leading Cardiff in that All Championship tie by a 0-0. But Cameron Dawson has saved 2 penalties for the home side, all inside the opening 10 minutes. Here come Aston Villa over the halfway line with Jacob Ramsey. He's looking for the options, has Moreno ahead of him, but goes back to Clement Longley. And now squares it to Esri Konsa. Let's head for our first update from Stamford Bridge. Henry Moran.
11 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Preston North End 0. Chelsea could have had a penalty. Raheem Sterling coming forward, corner of the penalty area. Combination of Preston defenders seemed to bring him down, but nothing doing according to referee Thomas Bramall. No need for the video assistant referee to be called into duty either. They're happy with it. Not sure Chelsea are. It remains goalless.
Thank you, Henry. Goalless here, still at the Riverside. Here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Aston Villa come forward once more. Here is Matty Cash back in the side after illness and suspension. Plays it back infield to Kamara. Now Dendoncker. Again, Middlesbrough well organised with this back 5, dropping deep to defend their penalty area as Moreno picks it up. Left-hand side of the penalty area for Aston Villa, tries the little 1-2, dinks the ball across once again, across that 6-yard box. Cash arriving, drives it across. Clark will clear away, and the clearance completed up towards the halfway line by Sam Greenwood. But again, that ball from Moreno was dangerous indeed, Neil Lennon.
Yeah, it was beautiful play between Moreno and Ramsey. Lovely little 1-2, and then he dinks a delicious ball. Just a little bit too high for McGinn, and failed to cash and they recycled the ball, but Middlesbrough are back in numbers. But it just shows you it's slow, and then the quick passing around the edge of the box, Vicky, that opened Middlesbrough up. You've got to be careful in Middlesbrough. They're sacrificing a lot of possession here. They did a lot of work off the ball, but they're making life very easy for Villa at the minute.
So Aston Villa in possession over the halfway line they go. Duran on the turn, tried to squeeze it out to Ramsey on the left hand side, as well as dispossessed by Isaiah Jones, but he then dispossessed by Ramsey in turn. The flag goes up on the far side, but again Aston Villa quickly going through the gears around the penalty area. Offside given on this occasion. Middlesbrough will have the free kick inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, you can't be losing the ball in those areas against a quality side like Villa, and this is the risk and reward that a lot of teams play with now. But we've seen today, Sunderland, against a good side, got punished. You got to be very, very careful.
Tom Glover closed down inside his own penalty area. The Middlesbrough goalkeeper plays it to the centre half, Matt Clark, who clears up towards halfway. But again, Middlesbrough just cannot get out of their own half at the moment. There is relentless pressure from Unai Emery's Aston Villa. Isaiah Jones will intercept that though and play the ball out to this right-hand side where it's collected by Morgan Rogers, who is suspended for the League Cup semi-final first leg against Chelsea on Tuesday. Sam Greenwood as well is cup side, but there were questions over what strength side Michael Carrick would put out in terms of having that League Cup semi-final first leg in mind. He's gone pretty much as strong as he can with the injuries and the players they have away. A couple of players in Fry and the captain Johnny Howson rested for this one. As the ball is played forward by Rav van den Berg, the younger brother of Liverpool's Sepp van den Berg, currently on loan at Mainz. Here come Middlesbrough once more. Lovely ball out to the left-hand side, and Bangura is suddenly in acres of space. Cash getting across belatedly, but Bangura has time to get into the penalty area. Cash then got the foot in. Half a shout for a penalty from some optimistic home fans. We have no VAR here. We do have goal line technology. And our referee, our man in the middle, Robert Jones, unmoved. And Bangura, though, he didn't make the most of that space, Neil, down the left-hand side as Aston Villa have it on halfway.
You're absolutely correct, Vicky. It was a brilliant move. It was a lovely 1-2 again between Hackney and Rodgers, and a brilliant switch of play by Hackney. And Bangura's and Akers, the switch of play is on again, Villa, because they're narrow and high. And he's got Akers to run into, and by the time he got the ball under control, he dithered, and the chance was gone. He had runners coming into the box, and I think that's exactly what Michael wants the team to do, is to, suck Villa in and then switch the play over the top, because he's got good pace in wide areas, but he's got to do better in that situation.
They go down that left-hand side again, Aston Villa looking for Moreno, but Van den Berg does well. Interchange of passes with Clark, and now forward to Hayden Hackney, who's a big player in midfield for Middlesbrough to have back from injury. They've lost it though. Rodgers going down, but the whistle goes, and Middlesbrough have a free kick on this near side. Neil Lennon. Impressed
with him, Hackney, already in the game. It's the first time I've seen him live, but he looks a really good footballer. Good awareness around him in tight areas, and he's got a nice range of passing. Obviously he's been out for a while, but there's another fine ball over the top.
Isaiah Jones just checked his run. I think he thought it was going further than it was, and perhaps might have been able to keep that in, but can't do so. Neil Lennon not impressed. Ty in the stands with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds at the Riverside. Yeah, he's a big player for them, even at the age of 21. Came through their academy, has been with them since under 10 level. Middlesbrough Young Player of the Year last season, making his first appearance since November after injury. And Emi Martinez has the ball on the edge of his penalty area. Good home crowd in tonight as well here at the Riverside, and both sets of fans coming together before kick-off, just before you joined us here on 5 Live, to give a moment's applause to remember their former chief executive at Middlesbrough, Keith Lamb, who passed away on Thursday, aged 77, after a long illness. He worked for the club for almost a quarter of a century, oversaw their first and only major cup triumph in 2004 when they won the League Cup, and that remarkable run to the UEFA Cup final in 2006 will be sorely missed. And as we say, both sets of fans coming together to pay tribute to and remember him before this game. Martinez plays the ball forward. It's flicked on by Leon Bailey, but intercepted by Middlesbrough, who have just settled into the game, haven't they, Neil Lennon, as they play it back to their goalkeeper Tom Glover.
Yeah, they're looking more comfortable now, and they've had a few good just as I say that, they've made a complete pig's ear of it, and they've conceded a corner. I was just saying their patterns of play were starting to look a little bit better, and Isaiah Jones has just dropped the centre half right in the mush, and he's conceded a corner.
Yeah, poor ball back to Van den Berg, who on the stretch can't keep it in, and it's a needless corner to give away to Aston Villa. 18 minutes gone, goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Leon Bailey over to this near side to take it for Aston Villa. Robert Jones is just telling Bailey to wait here. He's not really having a word with anybody in the area. And now Bailey will swing it in left-footed. It's high, it's flicked away by Matt Clark, headed back in by Jacob Ramsey. Clark is there again, good anticipation, reading of the play, coming out to the left-hand side of the penalty areas. They look to release Isaiah Jones, and under pressure Jacob Ramsey does well there on the left-hand side, steers it back to Emi Martinez.
You know what, if it's anybody else but Ramsey in the Villa team, Bangura would have caused a lot of problems there. Great defensive couple of headers from Clark as well. He's going to be important tonight from set players, but 2 great headers and then a nice break, and again I think it's what Michael Carrick is looking for. Plenty of pace in the wide areas to counter attack, and that was great cover from Ramsey there.
Aston Villa in possession in the centre circle, goalless here at the Riverside. The only goal in the 4 5:30 games has gone the way of Sheffield Wednesday, taking the lead early on against Cardiff. Cameron Dawson, their goalkeeper, has saved 2 penalties from Cardiff early on as well. Quite the start at Hillsborough as Aston Villa looked to come down the right-hand side, headed away by Bangura, but Cash will retain possession. Bangura does well. Ball is out of play on that far side for a throw to Middlesbrough. So goalless between Chelsea and Preston. You can listen to that over on 5 Sports Extra, and also between Swansea, the Championship, and League 2 Morecambe as Middlesbrough give the ball away. Flicked on by John Duran, but it was behind Leon Bailey. Lovely little back-heeled flick from Duran. Cleared away though by Middlesbrough, but they've lost possession again. Bailey out on that right-hand side, approaching the penalty area. Now John McGinn has it taken off his toes, but Isaiah Jones can't clear it. And it will be played down this left-hand side by Moreno. Middlesbrough in a good shape, but really struggling to make any headway in terms of possession. Moreno not struggling to make headway towards the penalty area, eventually held up by Jones, picked up by Kamara for Aston Villa, and now plays it to Matty Cash, but it's a wall of red in front of Aston Villa. Every single Middlesbrough player behind the ball midway through their own half as Coburn, their striker, comes to close down, worked out to the left-hand side, and long lay, poor delivery, easy for Tom Glover.
Yeah, but that's what Villa are going to have to do. Vicky, it's so congested in that midfield area. You know, you've got basically both teams playing with boxes, 2 6s and two 10s really, and all the spaces in the wide area. Unless you really move the ball quickly and play a little bit of one switch around the box, but you know, you got to give credit to Michael Carrick. He's done his homework on this one. It's a fascinating setup, the way he's pitched the team up, and you know, they're not open. The only problems they're causing themselves is when they give the ball away, like here in bad areas.
Right, they've just done once again, midway through their own half. Here's Dendoncker, 360 turn, lays it off to John McGinn, who whips it out to this left-hand side. Jacob Ramsey, nice control inside the penalty area. Ramsey for Aston Villa, up against 2 players, swings the ball across that 6-yard box again. It's over the head of Dendoncker, won't be kept in by Cash, and out for a Middlesbrough throw.
Yeah, you'd be concerned about that, Michael. You know, they're losing the ball in bad areas, and you know, if you keep doing that against the quality side, you're going to get hurt. But I do like the way the shape of the team is. It's obviously something he's come away from the Championship and the league, and he's specifically set the team up to combat Villa at the minute, and at the minute they're holding their own quite comfortably.
And coming forward now with Hayden Hackney, taking the captain's armband this evening, plays it out to the right-hand side, and Isaiah Jones, chance to get forward for the wide man for Middlesbrough. Plays the ball into Alex Moreno, and that should spin kindly enough for Jacob Ramsey, and does so. And then Jones with the foot fouls Jacob Ramsey, and Aston Villa have a player down inside their own penalty area off the ball. The referee hasn't seen this yet. Isaiah Jones has been booked for that foul on Jacob Ramsey, but he's not the player down. He's been pulled back up to his feet. Esri Konsa it is who is struggling in that Aston Villa penalty area, now being helped up by Emi Martinez. Let's see if we can see what happened with Konsa here, because there was absolutely nowhere near what was going on with Isaiah Jones and Jacob Ramsey, completely off the ball and nobody anywhere near him. He is up to his feet, he is moving out of the penalty area.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he felt a twinge or something in his thigh or his knee. And you know, Jones has just been booked for that challenge, Vicky. I think that's really harsh. It's just a genuine attempt to poke the ball away from Kamara. And Joe, I'm not sure I'd last very long in the modern day with the yellow cards that are dished out these days for innocuous sort of tackles. I think that's very harsh.
Do you think, Neil, you wouldn't last that very long?
I'd have to be do something I'd never done before and play smart, you know.
I would like to see that. Let's head to Stamford Bridge, Henry Moran.
Just past the halfway stage in the first half, still Chelsea 0, Preston 0, but good opportunity for Cole Palmer, really well found by Enzo Fernandez in the box. His chipped effort over the goalkeeper Woodman, but just past that left-hand post. Chelsea 0, Preston 0.
Thanks, Henry. A reminder, you can listen to that over on 5 Sports Extra. So Esri Konsa is moving comfortably enough for now. Emi Martinez has the ball just outside the Aston Villa penalty area. Neil Lennon, former Celtic and Bolton manager, alongside us, and we should whisper this quietly because there are a few fans around us, Neil. But
don't say it. Don't say it.
Part of that Leicester side that beat Middlesbrough in the '97 League Cup final, weren't you? After a replay.
Alistair, start the car.
Producer Alice is getting his keys out of his pocket. It's all right.
Very happy memories. It was my first major trophy in England, and played against the great Middlesbrough side with Ravanelli, Emerson, Juninho, that era. You know, we were a great side, and I think they got to the cup final as well and lost to Chelsea, and then lost the League Cup final the next year. So, well, it was a great days for us. It was halcyon days for Middlesbrough as well.
Yeah, the only time that Middlesbrough have got to the FA Cup final, as Neil says, was later that year, losing to Chelsea back in 1997. Aston Villa in possession, just inside the Middlesbrough half. But this switch to 5 at the back has worked defensively so far for Middlesbrough. Goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Aston Villa win a free kick midway through the Middlesbrough half on the left-hand side. But in terms of offensively, I mean, you can see what they're trying to do at times,
absolutely.
you know, getting Isaiah Jones forward and Alex Bangura, and they've done it on occasion, but we've not really been able to see, other than that one offside, what their informed striker Josh Coburn's been able to do.
No, I mean, you got to sacrifice that sometimes for the sake of the team, but you're right. You can see exactly what Michael's plan is, and it's to hit them on the counter-attack in the wide areas. And the questions are being asked of Emery: how are you going to break us down?
Set pieces are one way to do that. John McGinn is over this one, midway through the Middlesbrough half on the left-hand side. They have a one-player wall. Isaiah Jones is in it. And Villa mostly lined up those white shirts on the edge of the penalty area. And the runners of Middlesbrough ready to go with them as Moreno makes the run. Flicked away, the delivery by Vandenberg. Out to the right-hand side it goes, and Kamara will allow it to roll out for a throw to Aston Villa, and will leave that for Matty Cash to take. It's all Aston Villa at the moment, but still 26 minutes played here at the Riverside. It's goalless. Neil Lennon.
Well, it is, you know, but it's soft possession. What I call it soft. It's not really hurting Middlesbrough. You know, they're letting Villa have the ball, you know, between the two centre halves. And there's no real penetration at the minute from Villa, you know, and like I say, I think their way against Middlesbrough will be down the flanks because it's so congested in that central area. Middlesbrough, as we just touched on, you know, they'll want to use their wing backs as their out ball if they can get, you know, good possession at times, and they have done, particularly with Hackney, who does play a good ball now and again.
Coburn almost in for Middlesbrough. Appeals for handball as Morgan Rogers slid in to try and retain possession, but not given by referee Robert Jones. A reminder, no VAR here, so whatever the referee says is final, just like the good old days. Neil.
Absolutely.
Free kick to Aston Villa just inside the Middlesbrough half.
My only concern is if Villa do score, you know, what does Michael do then? Because at the minute they're set up well defensively, but not really hurting Villa at all in the other way.
Here goes Moreno. Good sliding challenge by Isaiah Jones. Clears the ball out of play, and it will be an Aston Villa throw. Aston Villa, who are looking to avoid becoming only the second club to be knocked out of the third round 5 seasons running as a top flight side. You have to go all the way back to Blackpool in the 60s, who managed that unwanted feat. They're on top so far here at the Riverside, but nothing to show for it in terms of goals as the throw bounces all the way into the penalty area, cleared away at the back by Dan Barlaser for Middlesbrough, picked up by Longley and Fields to Dendoncker, and now Kamara plays it out to the right hand side, and Matty Cash as the white shirts of Aston Villa come forward once more. Out to the right he goes, and Leon Bailey, he pulls it back to Dendoncker just outside the penalty area. Thought about the shot but pulls it back instead to Cash. Again Middlesbrough with the red shirts back, looking organised, holding Aston Villa at bay. Longley sends it out to the left hand side, and Moreno up against Jones, plays the ball into the area. Jacob Ramsey trying to whip it across, it's blocked away, and Jones might be able to run it clear. The angle and channel is well closed down by John Duran, so Jones goes in field to Hackney. Nice play from Hackney to find Barlaser, and that's a bit of confidence there in possession that's good to see from a Middlesbrough perspective.
That's outstanding football, and they've worked it in from a real bad position. Jones into Hackney, lovely little turn. He's one of those players, and Michael Carrick was one as well. Looks like he's got loads of time on the ball, Vicky, and he hasn't, but he just knows where he is, and he just looks a really good footballer.
Yeah, he's had a good game, Isaiah Jones, playing at wing back today and really doing his defensive duties as well as getting forward as he chests the ball down, and it's cleared away at the back by Moreno. Came up through non-league. Isaiah Jones joined Middlesbrough all the way back in 2019 from Tooting and Mitcham Borough. Knows what it's like to try and cause an upset. He's coming down the right hand side once more, strongly challenged by Kamara. Good challenge though. Longley will send it all the way back to Emi Martinez. Talking about upsets, we've had a big one today. 6th-tier Maidstone United beating League One Stevenage by a 1-0 to reach the 4th round for the very first time in their history. They're the lowest ranked side left in the FA Cup. They were at the start of this 3rd round, and they will be going into the hat for the draw for the 4th round. National League Eastleigh had a replay with Newport County in League Two. No Premier League exits so far today though. Newcastle, Sheffield United, Brighton and Bournemouth all through. Bournemouth having to come from 2-0 down to beat QPR by 3-2. All the results available on the BBC Sport website. Here come Middlesbrough. Morgan Rogers still inside his own half, fires the ball into Kamara. Now Coburn hadn't noticed that ricocheted. Aston Villa had, and Longley steers it back to Emi Martinez. But you've got to be alert to those possibilities, Neil Lennon.
Yeah, he was unlucky. It's taken a massive deflection. He was facing the other way. But I think it's the number 10, Rogers, had a great opportunity to put Bangura in. He's missed the pass. And that, again, it was so open that they're working it really nicely and sucking Villa over to one side of the pitch and leaving big spaces to go and attack. Bangura would have been in if the execution had been right, but you got to get it right because you only may have 2 or 3 opportunities to do that, Vicky.
Here come Aston Villa down the left-hand side. Moreno plays the ball in again. Clark is there again, heads away. Aston Villa see Moreno go down on the edge of the penalty area but doesn't appeal for the free kick, and Middlesbrough should be able to run the ball clear. And again, it's intelligent, calm play under pressure by Barlaser. Saw the channel was closed off, plays it back to Isaiah Jones, who plays it in field now to Hayden Hackney. Barlaser under a bit of pressure. Clark lets that run all the way through to Tom Glover. I tell you what, these players really trust each other, don't they?
Corner half. That was a hell of a ball that Barlaser had to deal with, but he handled it brilliantly. I have to say the 2 boys in there, Hackney and Barlaser, really caught me eye. They're really good footballers on the ball, and you're right, they're showing a bit of bravery, but you just got to be careful against really good players. If you don't get it right, they'll punish you.
So far Middlesbrough have done largely, but as Neil Lennon says, fine margins. Still 31 minutes played, goalless here at the Riverside between Middlesbrough and Aston Villa. You can watch this match on BBC One, but we're delighted to have your company with us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. More FA Cup commentaries coming up for you tomorrow as Aston Villa have the ball on the halfway line. Peterborough against Leeds at 2 o'clock, with Luton against Bolton over on Sports Extra. And we'll have updates on the other ties as well, including Arsenal against Liverpool. As Aston Villa come down the right-hand side, Leon Bailey well held up by Bangura. Eventually plays the ball into the area, deflected, headed away by Hackney and helped on by Greenwood up towards Coburn, but he's just still inside his own half and can't make any headway. Runs into a cluster of white shirts, and Conser will pick it up for Aston Villa. Moving fine, Conser, after going down earlier in the penalty area. As Jacob Ramsey picks it up inside the penalty area, dinks the ball across, and it flies just over the bar. Got a touch from Tom Glover as well, and it will go behind for an Aston Villa corner. That was an awkward one for the Middlesbrough goalkeeper to deal with.
Yeah, Duran's really annoyed. He didn't get the cutback from Ramsey, but lovely little pass into him from Longley. He got on the half turn in the corner of the box and flashed a shot. It wasn't really troubling the goalie, but he had to just to make sure to tip it over. But another corner,
and they've taken it short. Middlesbrough switching off. Cash will whip it in, and the header just over the bar. What an opportunity that was, up from the back for Middlesbrough, for Aston Villa I should say, but unable to take it. Dendonka was in there and narrowly whistles over the bar. Probably Aston Villa's best chance of this game so far.
Yeah, no question. It was fired in by Cash, and Longley just got too much purchase on it. If he'd have taken a little bit off the header, which is a difficult thing to do because it's coming at him so quickly, might have been a goal, and that's the danger for Middlesbrough. Villa get their noses in front, it could be trouble.
And Aston Villa have taken possession once more. John Duran coming forward, let's fly, good save by Glover, big strong left hand diving away. Engel trying to prevent the corner and does really well to do so, down on the byline. Plays it out for an Aston Villa throw, but that was a fierce shot from John Duran. Aston Villa picking it up over on that far side, still goalless, but they're starting to rack up more clear opportunities, aren't they, Neil?
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 sets of goal. He's not shy in taking a shot, Vicky. That's another really good effort and a good save from Glover. But again, Middlesbrough losing it in the first third of the pitch. You can't do that against these teams, and now they're penned in. and they've got to be careful that if Villa do get one, they've done well here though.
Here goes Barlaser, no free kick given. Middlesbrough coming forward. Rogers into the penalty area, has support arriving. Rogers goes alone, and at the near post, Emi Martinez beats it away for a Middlesbrough corner. And finally, the Riverside have something to cheer about in an attacking sense.
Well, rule reversal. Kamara loses the ball. Barlaser does brilliantly, then releases a gorgeous ball to Rogers. He takes half a yard, little body swerve, and shoots, but unfortunately it's near post and pretty comfortable for Martinez, but it's certainly woken up the crowd here.
Well, there's been a lot to praise from their defensive aspect of their performance so far. Can Middlesbrough find a way to hurt Aston Villa at the other end? It's goalless, 10 minutes to play until the break here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Dan Barlaser has the ball in both hands, raises it above his head, now puts it down in front of that red corner flag, whips it in, right-footed. Villa have a player down in the area. Whistle doesn't go as John McGinn gets back up to his feet, but the offside flag goes up as Middlesbrough play the ball out to the right-hand side, and Barlaser once more, and that is a wasted opportunity, Neil Lennon.
Yeah, there's a bit too much purchase on the corner, but I have to say how impressive are Villa coming out of the box, very, very quickly, and Barlaser shouldn't have been offside. He's looking to cross the line.
And it's that high line that you picked up on early in the game. Paid off for Aston Villa that time. Middlesbrough quite alert to it as Jacob Ramsey, good strength, plays it in field to McGinn, but his ball was just a little bit too far ahead of John Duran. He's done really well there, Matt Clark, the Middlesbrough centre half, because Duran was running to cut off that angle back to the goalkeeper Tom Glover. His play stops once more. Aston Villa's Jacob Ramsey is down. Again, it was off the ball, certainly away from where the momentum of the attack had taken the play.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened there. And you're right about Clark. He's having a huge game at the back, really nice and composed, and I think it suits him being in the 3. He's a big strong boy, very good in the air, and he was very comfortable. Well, it looks like Hackney caught Ramsey a little bit late. I don't know if the referee's going to have a word with Hackney now. We've just seen it again on the screens. He was a little bit late on him, and luckily for him there is no VAR or anything like that today, and the referee didn't see it. Otherwise it could have been a yellow card, but Consa's been booked now. Yeah,
and all of that as Consa's gone into the book. To be completely honest, we're not entirely sure why.
I think it may have been a bit of dissent.
So, yellow card for Consa, and we play on. Middlesbrough in possession, just inside their own half, still goalless with Aston Villa. Middlesbrough, who, as we say, have really struggled with injuries this season. They sit 12th in the Championship, just 4 points off the playoffs. As they try and get in behind, and Isaiah Jones won't quite be able to bring it down on the edge of the penalty area, but getting forward well there as Jacob Ramsey will bring the ball away from Aston Villa. That's good strength by Ramsey down the left-hand side. Barlaser does well to get a foot in. Vandenberg's there for Middlesbrough under pressure, plays it forward to Rogers as we get confirmation that that yellow card, as you said, Neil, was for dissent for Ezri Konsa. The ball goes out of play for an Aston Villa throw. 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Goalless between Chelsea and Preston. Also a 5:30 kickoff in the FA Cup. You can listen to that on Sports Extra. Also goalless between Swansea and Morecambe, and Sheffield Wednesday still leading Cardiff by a 0-0. Sheffield Wednesday also saved 2 penalties thanks to the heroics of their goalkeeper Cameron Dawson. Here is Matty Cash down the right hand side, goalless at the Riverside between Middlesbrough and Aston Villa. Cash's delivery into the area, Moreno, cute header down to the edge of the 6-yard box, nobody really there. Middlesbrough haven't cleared it effectively. John McGinn will bring it down. Kamara can't get the ball out from under his feet initially. Little drag back to Bailey, tricks his way into the penalty area, very good run, tried to lay it off to John McGinn, and Middlesbrough will intercept and should be able to clear, but Coburn is so deep, their striker, midway through his own half. Villa win the ball back, Greenwood then wins it back for Middlesbrough, and the ball goes out of play for a throw. We'll be heading to Hillsborough very shortly, but Aston Villa building a bit of momentum once more. Here is Longley. He's almost dispossessed by Rogers, but does retain possession for Villa. Held up on the edge of the penalty area. Pulls it back to Leander Dendoncker, and now Ezri Konsa, and again the red shirts of Middlesbrough dropping deep in that 5 at the back formation, and Aston Villa finding it so hard to play through them. as they stop on the edge of the centre circle. Let's head to Hillsborough. Sani Rudravajula.
Well, it's Sheffield Wednesday 2, Cardiff City 0. The centre-back Michael Ahikwe up for a corner has headed Wednesday into a 2-goal lead. Remember, Cardiff missed 2 penalties before that, but it's Sheffield Wednesday who lead by 2-0.
Moreno's ball into the penalty area, flicked away vitally so on that far side by Lucas Engel, because John McGinn was poised and ready to bring the ball down, as Aston Villa feel the ball should have gone their way as it goes out for a throw, but nothing doing. Middlesbrough have the throw, and Leon Bailey is not very happy, and I think he might go into the book for his protests. Indeed he will, as Robert Jones walks over to the Aston Villa winger, and into the book he goes, Neil Lennon.
I think that's harsh, because I actually thought he was pushed. And, you know, I can understand why Leon Bailey's annoyed. She's just let that one go, the referee, like, you know what I mean? It's just a little bit of injustice there for Leon, I thought. But again, good play down the left-hand side here. It was just a little push in his back and pushes him over, Vicky. And it's a free kick, and the linesman stood right there, 2 yards away, and doesn't give the free kick. No wonder he's upset.
Oh, it's all happening at Hillsborough. Another goal, Sani Rudravajula.
Well, it's an absolute stunner from a good 26 yards from Liam Palmer, wearing the captain's armband today. The ball was bouncing and he has smashed it into the goal. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Cardiff City 0.
And remember, as Sani was telling us a couple of moments ago, Cardiff missed 2 penalties at 1-0 down. Middlesbrough with the ball just outside their own penalty area. Aston Villa might have fashioned a chance while we were away at Hillsborough, but weren't able to do so. They've won the ball inside the centre circle, but it's been won back, and Barlaser will play it down the left-hand side, and Bangura now plays it forward, looking for the run of Sam Greenwood. He'll do well to get there, he does. Headed away by Conser, comes to Rodgers, drives from the edge of the area. Difficult chance on the volley, 5-1.
Yeah, really good play again. Barlaser's been outstanding in the midfield. Wins the ball and then releases Greenwood. He does brilliantly to cut it back. Conser gets a touch on it, comes out to Rodgers, takes a touch and volleys it, but he just sort of scoffs it a little bit and wide. But really good again from Middlesbrough, particularly the 2 sitting midfielders. Barlaser and Hackney have really caught me out tonight. They've been excellent.
So Aston Villa in possession inside their own penalty area. If you're Michael Carrick, Neil, do you say this game plan has worked perfectly in the first half?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, you're playing against the top team. Obviously you like a little bit more in attacking ways, and sometimes, you know, Coburn's very, very isolated up there on his own. But yeah, they're frustrating Villa. They've matched them up in midfield. I don't remember Glover, you know, having, you know, clear-cut chances to save. They've been shots outside the box. So yeah, I mean, Michael's he's given this a lot of thought, a lot of tactical, you know, thoughts going into this, and yeah, they're working quite well. It's 0-0. Game could go either way, but if Villa do get a goal, then he's got to rethink his strategy. But so far, so good.
Yes, plan A at the moment is working. I'm sure there is a plan B, plan C, were those goals to come for Aston Villa, as Barlaser wins a free kick inside the centre circle. Conversely, what about Unai Emery then? I mean, they've had the lion's share of possession, and that's an understatement, but just need to test Glover more.
Yeah, he'll be okay with the possession that they've had. He'll be, again, maybe a little tweak at half time. You know, maybe try and play with more width, or, you know, take that one pass less. You know, instead of taking the extra pass, get it out wider quicker, just to stretch the Middlesbrough defence. But I think in the main he'll be okay at the minute.
Good delivery by Clark. To Bangura over on that far side. He went down, no free kick given. John McGinn has lost it though. And then Middlesbrough lose it in turn. Good foot in by Kamara, and here goes Leon Bailey, and this is where Middlesbrough are now really stretched, but it's a poor ball from Leon Bailey. Good reading of the danger by Isaiah Jones. He got back to make the interception, but really he should have found Ramsey on the left hand side. Villa have it once more. Here is Ramsey on the left hand side. Moreno there for company, and Moreno tries to take it into the area, blocked behind by Jones. Corner Villa.
That's been their best avenue down this left hand side. You know, decent link-up play with Ramsey and Moreno. Moreno's unlucky. It's really tight area, but the timing of the pass was good. But Jones did a good job. But they're getting plenty of numbers back, Middlesbrough. And yeah, one time they've got away, Bailey made a hash of the pass. He's got to do better with that with a player of his quality.
So corner to Aston Villa. John McGinn will take it from this left-hand side. The right arm raised in the air, and now swings it in left-footed to the corner of the 6-yard box. It's headed back down, but the referee has spotted an infringement, and it will be a free kick to Middlesbrough inside their own penalty area. Neil Lennon.
Yeah, that's twice they've done that corner. It's not going to work because Clark is the big boy at the back post, so they're going to have to rethink their corners. You know, that's twice they've tried to hit the far post, but it's meat and drink for a big guy like Clark. And when you've got a big guy, the ball has to travel a long way, Vicky, and that means the defence can readjust to the second ball. So I'd like to see them maybe vary that corner now.
1 minute of normal time to play at the end of this first half. Middlesbrough 0, Aston Villa 0 in the FA Cup third round here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And I think there will not be too much additional time at the end of this first half. But as we say, Middlesbrough and Michael Carrick, I think, will be very pleased with the tactical performance, the discipline that they've shown in this first half. Again, as we say, really stretched in terms of numbers, but he's named a strong side. Can they now hurt Aston Villa as they come down the left-hand side? Van Gora's ball into the area. Coburn misses it, and so does Jones. Coburn missed the connection. Jones misses the shot, firing in on that far side, but he got it all wrong and skews it wide. That was a huge opening for Middlesbrough to take the lead on the stroke of half time.
It's exactly how Michael would have seen it. And just the execution at the end from Cote, he's got to score. It's brilliant again from Barlaser, and he releases Bangura. He does everything right with the pass as well, or the cross. It's first time. Coburn, he's got to score. He's middle of the goal. He's got to score either a diving header or get contact on it, because he's middle of the goal. How he misses the ball, I don't know. And it's just too far for Jones to, retrieve it. But brilliant again from Barlaser. He's, you know what I think of John McGinn. John McGinn's a magnificent player, but I have to say he's been nullified tonight so far by the Middlesbrough midfield.
1 minute of added time at the end of this first half. Middlesbrough carving out one of their best of their few openings in this first period as we approach the break, as they win a free kick just inside their own half. And the referee is telling Middlesbrough exactly where to take that from. So reaction to all the FA Cup third round ties that have been completed coming up at half time for you. The big story of the day so far: 6th tier Maidstone United beating League One Stevenage to reach the fourth round for the first time in their history. Middlesbrough looking to cause an upset of their own, have the ball down by the corner flag, but there is the half-time whistle, and although it's goalless, the Riverside stands to applaud, and it's mainly the home fans that are doing so. They've changed the system, they've gone to 5 at the back. They have held Aston Villa at bay relatively easily, Neil Lennon.
Yeah, comfortable enough, yeah, and they had the best chance of the half, just before half-time. Perfectly executed move, but the only thing that was missing was the finish. And Michael Carrick will be delighted. They've obviously done a bit of work, a bit of analysis on Villa, and they've kept Villa pretty quiet. So really good performance so far. Really important. The next 10-15 minutes of the second half is crucial in this game now.
Half-time at the Riverside. It's goalless between Middlesbrough and Aston Villa.
Neil, do you think Unai Emery will be a little bit disappointed that Villa haven't been that dynamic with all of the ball they've had, and they have had a lot of the ball?
Yeah, he will be. Yeah, they haven't created enough chances. Sometimes when teams flood the box, you got to get your shots off quicker. You got to spread the ball a little bit wider. So that'll be something he'll be thinking about. Middlesbrough have let Villa have the ball. Their game plan has been excellent so far, and they have changed the way they play because of the quality of the opposition they're playing, and they should be one up. Let's get it right. I mean, Coburn should score. So far so good for Middlesbrough. You're quite right. You'll be expecting more Emery from the second half, but having said that, you look at the bench and they've got great options to come off the bench should you need them.
And so far so good for Preston North End at Stamford Bridge. Henry Moran.
It is indeed. Chelsea 0, Preston 0. A game of few chances, but still plenty of intrigue. Cole Palmer should perhaps have given Chelsea the lead when found by Fernandes, but his dinked finish went just wide. Fernandes and Sterling have also forced good saves from Woodman in the Preston goal. Preston themselves have had moments. Keane and Osmajic giving Chelsea's backline much to think about. 6,000 Lancastrians roaring them on as well. No question, Preston very much in this game. Half-time, Chelsea 0, Preston 0.
Not looking too bad at all for League 2 Morecambe either, at Swansea City of the Championship. Oh, and Gwyneth.
Yeah, Swansea 0, Morecambe 0. It's been all Swansea here, dominating possession, but no goals. The Swansea, they took the lead after a quarter of an hour when Charlie Patino flicked a header from 8 yards out towards goal and drew a fantastic one-handed save by Adam Smith in the Morecambe goal. Yannick Bolasie out left, cut in and curled a curling shot towards goal, but was inches over. They're the only real chances the Swansea Swans have created in the first half, whilst Morecambe haven't created too much at all. The Swans will want an early second half goal. Swansea 0, Morecambe 0.
Of the 4 games that kicked off at 5:30, only one of them has any goals. There have been 3, and there could have been 5, Sani Rudravajula.
Steve, this is one of the most bonkers games I've ever been at. It's Sheffield Wednesday 3, Cardiff City 0. We're into the final moments of the first half. I mean, where to begin? Josh Windass with a brilliant strike from distance as the referee blows the first 45 to a close. From distance after 2 minutes, Romain Sawyer's credited with an own goal on 38, and Liam Palmer, the right back, playing in centre midfield with the captain's armband, smashing it in from 28 yards. But before all that, Steve, in the first 10 minutes, we had 2 penalty saves from Cameron Dawson. First from Ryan Wintle and then from Callum Robinson. What a first 45. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Cardiff City 0.
I expect whatever happens in the next hour or so, we're not going to top the story of the day, are we? Maidstone United from National League South, the first team from that division since 2008 to make their way into round 4. 1-0 winners today against Stevenage. Other scores for you in the FA Cup then: Millwall 2, Leicester 3, Coventry put 6 past Oxford, that finished 6-2. Wimbledon 1, Ipswich 3, Stoke 2, Brighton 4, Sunderland 0, Newcastle United 3 in the Weir Tyne derby. Finished Norwich 1, Bristol Rovers 1, so they'll replay. Southampton 4, Walsall 0. At Chesterfield of the National League leaders, in fact, were so close to causing a shock at Watford. They did lead, were pegged back, and then in the dying embers of the game, Watford got a winner. Watford 2, Chesterfield 1. Blackburn 5, Cambridge United 2, Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 4. QPR did lead 2-0 against Bournemouth at half-time, but in the end were beaten at Loftus Road by 3-2. It was Plymouth 3, Sutton United 1. Eastleigh of the National League played for roughly an hour against Newport County at Rodney Parade with 10 men and still came back from a goal down to draw 1-1. So a replay there. So too for Hull and Birmingham. They drew 1-1 in the first game since the departure at Birmingham of Wayne Rooney. Sheffield Wednesday 3, Cardiff 0 half-time score. Middlesbrough 0, Aston Villa 0, Swansea 0, Morecambe 0 and Chelsea 0, Preston 0. Right, we'll be back at the Riverside for second half commentary after the news on 5 Live with Jill Mackenzie.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The US Federal Aviation Administration says it's requiring immediate inspections of some Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes before they can return to flight. An Alaska Airlines plane had to make an emergency landing minutes after taking off because a window panel blew out. Officials in Ukraine say a Russian missile strike has killed 11 people, including 5 children, in the eastern city of Pokrovsk. The area is about 50 miles northwest of the Russian-held city of Donetsk. The Lebanese Prime Minister says his country is doing everything it can to avoid being dragged into the war between Israel and Hamas. Najib Mikati was speaking after talks in Beirut with the EU's foreign policy chief, Josep Borrell. And victims of the Post Office Horizon IT scandal are welcoming the news that Scotland Yard is expanding an investigation into whether there was any criminality involved in the wrongful convictions of hundreds of sub-postmasters. The force says it's looking at potential fraud offences.
You know those times when you just can't tear yourself away from something great on 5 Live?
And your little favourite football friend is there with you. And to be honest, I'd have him in every day.
Now, I always rave about... No! With most smart speakers, you can now ask BBC Sounds to pause, rewind and restart live radio.
Now, I always rave about Julian are on it. The guy is absolutely dripping with Riz.
He's got so much Riz.
Yeah.
So you never have to miss another minute. To get started, just say, ask BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Oh, it's the referee! It's full time! Maidstone have done it! Everyone's running on the pitch. Fans coming out of the Genco. Those Maidstone players celebrating with their fans. Incredible scenes here.
That right there is the FA Cup. Maidstone United of National League South 1, Stevenage 0. Let's hear from the match winner. Here's Sam Corn.
Oh, outstanding. Listen, we had to believe. We may get this far, and it's come true. And every boy in there and every bit of the management are delighted.
Your manager has just said that on the balance of play, he felt you deserved it. On the playing field, did you get that sense as well?
Yeah, listen, I thought we created the better opportunities. Maybe not clear-cut, but I thought we was always within a chance. There's moments in the games where we had to dug deep and ride our luck in the second half, but that's the magic of the FA Cup. And then, yeah, we got the job done.
and your penalty got the job done. When you get a penalty, FA Cup, all the stories and on all the magnitude of what today was for everyone, and it's on your responsibility, your shoulders to put the penalty away. What are you thinking?
Obviously, I had won the game prior, and I went right side, and a few of the boys were talking today in the change room about where you're going to go, and I changed it, and lucky enough it paid off, and it was a massive relief. But what a moment for myself.
Sam Cohn there with Chris Coles. 10-man Eastleigh of the National League and replay against Newport County. Chris Maguire's late penalty got them in the hat. Here's manager Richard Hill.
We've had to give it a go. There was no point for the last 20 minutes just trying to keeping it down, trying to keep it 1-0. We had to go for it. We had to go, and I made positive substitutions to try and take on the offensive. We got to a point in the game. I mean, I say lots of times, you can only lose a football game once. With 20 minutes to go, we'd lost that football game. But what we've got players that are pretty special in certain areas of the pitch. Given the opportunity, anything can happen.
Your side had been resolute, committed. They'd matched Newport and ridden a couple of chances for County. The red card, that threatened to change the destiny of the cup tie. What was your take on that?
Careful, I get in trouble. Don't know, the FA police will be listening. It's a foul to us. Will Evans has been fouling all the game, but sometimes the officials ain't good enough to see that because they don't know the game. But it was a foul to us. We felt a little bit aggrieved, and it motivated us.
10 minutes ago, penalty to Eastleigh in front of 1,000 or so that have made the trip across the Severn Bridge. Was there ever anyone else apart from Chris Maguire who was going to take that spot kick?
I mean, we get a corner and there's nobody other than Chris Maguire going to take it. And at that point, there's no better in this league, in the National League, than Chris Maguire. And I would say there's no better in League Two than Chris Maguire to be in that situation. I said to him then coming off at the end, what do you think, Ben? Never in doubt.
Richard Hill there with Lawrence Herdman. We started the day with a Weir Tyne derby. Newcastle beat Sunderland 3-0 at the Stadium of Light to book their place in round 4. The home fans who were left at full time weren't pleased with the Newcastle squad because they posed for a celebratory team photo in front of a jubilant away end. Here's Newcastle's Sean Longstaff.
Obviously massive rivals, but you've also got massive respect for their fans, and I thought they made a great atmosphere today. I also think they're a really good team, really young team, the way they try and play and stuff, so it's always going to be a tough game, but like I said, to walk out and you've got the butterflies and stuff, and we've had some big games this season, but I don't think any were bigger than today, and it was a massive sort of point in our season to see where we are. The last month's not been great, so to sort of come through today is a massive positive, and like I said, everyone's really happy.
Just finally, I mean, you know better than anybody what it's like to be a Newcastle fan. You're either sky high or you're low. There's seldom anything in between. I suppose, how important is it you use this as a stepping stone for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it is. It's really important. I think, like I said, the last month's not been great, and with the amount of injuries we've had, it's probably always going to catch up with us at some point, but you see today we're getting boys back, and I think when everyone's fit and available, we've got a really good squad, and we're a really good team, so I think it's about using today as a positive and a bit of a feel-good factor hopefully around the place, because it's not been there for a little while.
Sean Longstaff there with Gary Flintoff. Brighton survived a bit of a scare at Stoke to make it to round 4. They ran out winners by 4-2 in the end. Here's manager Roberto De Zerbi.
Yes, but we knew before the game could be a tough game, but there aren't easy game in this level. But I think we deserve to win. We played well for 90 minutes. Conceded the first goal after we made 2 mistakes in 2 chances to score. And after that moment, I think we played better than Stoke. I'm really happy for the performance. Really happy for my players, because before the game I asked them to play seriously, to play an important game like Europe League, like Premier League, and they did it.
Tottenham have agreed a deal to sign forward Timo Werner on loan from RB Leipzig. Bit of breaking news for you there. The German is set to fly to London for his medical. Comes back to the Premier League having previously scored 23 goals in 89 appearances for Chelsea between 2020 and 2022. And Sutton United, who were beaten at Plymouth in the Cup earlier today, have just announced that Steve Morrison is going to be their new manager. He joins from the Isthmian League side Hornchurch. Elsewhere, Gallagher Premiership, Northampton won a thriller at Exeter to go top. That finished finished Exeter 36, Saints 42. At Welford Road, Leicester beat Saracens 19-10. Sarries director of rugby Mark McCall has had his say about the future of fly half Owen Farrell, who's been linked with a move to French side Racing 92.
Owen's given his life to our club, and he's been there since he's 16 years old, maybe before that, to be honest. But he has been like an incredible player, leader, person at the club for so long. And when things got tough in 2019, he was one of the ones who wasn't going anywhere and showed what the club meant to him and showed all of his loyalty. And aged 33, having stepped down from England, if he decided him and his family want a new experience elsewhere, who could blame him? Yeah, what I do know is he's given our club his everything, really.
Sarries director of rugby Mark McCall on the future of England captain Owen Farrell. Not too far away from second half commentary at the Riverside Stadium. Middlesbrough 0, Aston Villa 0. Once we're done with that, it'll be time for 606 with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. Chris is with us. Good evening, Chris. All right?
Good evening, Steve. Yeah, you enjoying the game? Middlesbrough game? Your team?
I am very much enjoying the game, yeah. I'm not as much as I enjoyed the big story of the day, though. I got to speak to George Ellacobi earlier today, manager of Maidstone United. That is the story, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Phenomenal result. I thought, it's Stevenage League One club, they've been going okay, then this would be a game too far. How wrong was I? They'd already knocked out Barrow from League Two, but so we want to hear from Maidstone fans. I mean, that's an enormous result. Hearing the atmosphere at the end of the game, well, all throughout the game was pretty incredible, but some result that.
Yeah, how much do you think Eddie Howe needed that today? Newcastle winning 3-0 at Sunderland.
I thought it was big for Eddie Howe. I thought it was a game that he couldn't really lose because there's no doubt that that this season has been tough for Eddie Howe, and had he lost to his biggest rivals in Sunderland, then I suppose there would have been questions asked. I've got to say, did you watch all the game, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the most one-sided derby games I've ever seen. I thought Newcastle was so comfortable. Before the game, the atmosphere, once again, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. You could really feel it. But that was
Sunderland
it.
A bit meek, Chris?
I
sort
thought
of felt
so.
like they only started throwing punches at 2-0 down.
Yeah, and look, I mean, people talk about Newcastle had injuries. Well, so did Sunderland. But you're exactly right. That they couldn't get up the pitch in the first half, struggled in the second half. I mean, it was a disaster after half time. A few seconds into the second half, trying to play out from the back. I think the guy tried a nutmeg, didn't he? But and then Newcastle were really comfortable. So want to hear from Sunderland fans. How did you feel? And Newcastle fans, big result for Eddie Howe.
Back to the Riverside then. Ball on the centre spot. Second half commentary of Middlesbrough versus Aston Villa with Neil Lennon and Vicky Sparks.
Perfect timing, Steve. We are just underway. Middlesbrough getting us underway. Goalless here at the Riverside as Aston Villa get an early foot in. Middlesbrough playing from right to left. Still approaching the Aston Villa penalty area. Here is Hayden Hackney. Will play it back and work it out to this left-hand side. And Sam Greenwood, who whips the ball in. Cleared away by Aston Villa. Only as far as Dan Barlaser as Middlesbrough looks to keep it alive. Morgan Rogers has gone down, and referee Robert Jones has a think about it, does blow his whistle. And Middlesbrough have a free kick, and that's probably more front-footed in terms of Middlesbrough than we saw in most of the first half, Neil Lennon.
Yeah, great start. Nice little bit of interplay down the left-hand side, and a good cross from Greenwood, and Coburn had just sort of overextended his run at the near post, and Jones did too much to do to make up. Moreno had a free header then, but free kick in a sort of central position. They'll probably have to get it wider. It's too central, too far out for a shot.
Yeah, they're midway through the Aston Villa half. So lines are open for 606 08085 909 693. Book your call now and have your say on what has been a fascinating day of FA Cup third round action with Robbie and Chris later this evening following the conclusion of this match here at the Riverside. 08085 909 693. Give us a call now as Middlesbrough do work the free kick wide to the right hand side. It's swung into the area, headed away by Ezri Konsa for Aston Villa, but it's Villa's turn to be deep. All 11 men behind the ball as Barlaser plays it forward, intercepted before it can reach Morgan Rogers, and here come Aston Villa. Play the ball forward to John McGinn in the centre circle. Barlaser gets the foot in, but will be picked up by Leon Bailey. He's dispossessed, but Coburn can't make the most of it for Middlesbrough. Frenetic start to this second half. Finally, Aston Villa just put a stop to a bit of that freneticness and pick the ball up inside their own penalty area. And now Middlesbrough go back into that defensive formation. It looks as though they have stuck with the 5 that they started with. We'll see, because Bangura is pushing quite high up at the moment on this left-hand side as Aston Villa win a free kick just midway through their own half. No changes for either side at half-time. We'll get a look at the formations and then run you through the lineups as Aston Villa work it out to Moreno on the left-hand side. Will be work back now to Ezri Konsa, who plays it out to the right, and Matty Cash as Unai Emery stands on the edge of his technical area, clapping his gloved hands together. Michael Carrick to his right, watching on his Middlesbrough side, who gave a good account of themselves, certainly defensively and tactically in the first half, and had a big chance to take the lead before half-time. Josh Coburn unable to make real contact with the ball into the area, and here come Aston Villa down the left-hand side. Moreno receives the ball from Ramsey. Moreno very well dispossessed by Isaiah Jones as Villa have a player down with Bailey in the penalty area. Referee says play on, and Aston Villa do so. Here is Konsa. Villa playing in the change strip of the white shirts, the blue shorts and the white socks as they spread it out to the left-hand side, and good defending once more by Isaiah Jones, but won't prevent the corner. Stopping the cross though from Moreno, but Villa had the set piece over on the wide left-hand side. Emi Martinez has sprinted up to the halfway line, and a little look over at Unai Emery. Not even Emi Martinez would ask to go forward 3.5 minutes inside the second half. Not even Emi Martinez, but he's getting bored. He's on the edge of the centre circle, waving his arms around to keep warm. As Middlesbrough have every single player inside their own penalty area, ready to defend this corner from the far side. Goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds at the Riverside between Middlesbrough and Aston Villa. It's Villa with the set piece to be taken from the far side. It's driven to the edge of the box. Ramsey will pull it now to John McGinn, edge of the D, curls it in. Brilliant save by Tom Glover, tips it over. McGinn caught that so sweetly, and Glover equal to it. It's another Villa corner.
Oh, it's a magnificent Lee Work corner. Lots of distraction going on. People running to the near post, leaving McGinn free in the edge of the box at the back. It's rolled to him, he hits it sweetly, safe foot, brilliant technique, and what a magnificent save from Glover. That's Villa's best moment of the game so far, no question. But we did say they needed to vary their set plays, and have done that.
They certainly have. What will they do from this one? They play it short. Middlesbrough eventually get the player out to try and stop the delivery, but it's poor from Cash, sails behind, and Middlesbrough have the goal kick. Neil Lennon.
Yeah, they got that one wrong, but the previous one was superb, and Glover made an exceptional save, I have to say. That might open the game up a little bit, a bit more excitement, but decent start from both teams, but that was definitely the best sort of attacking opportunity that they've created so far, Villa.
Glover plays the goal kick short as Middlesbrough do working out of their penalty area, now up towards the halfway line. A goal between Swansea and Morecambe. Owain Gwyneth.
Yeah, finally Swansea have had their opening goal. Swansea 1, Morecambe 0. The first attack in the second half. Sam Parker from the right, curling in across, and Charlie Patino there to slot home for his 4th goal of the season. Swansea 1, Morecambe 0.
So the Championship side ahead against their League 2 opponents as Middlesbrough come forward. Ball out to the left-hand side, too much on it for Alex Bangura. And Aston Villa have the throw. Neil Lennon.
But you watch Middlesbrough now, they want to sort of cramp Villa in. You can see Michael waving the players over, and Barlos are, so that they're obviously well organised here, and they know what they want to do, and especially in the final third. They're trying their best not to let Villa get out here.
So Villa with this throw, level with the edge of their own penalty area. Cash will send it to Kamara. It's blocked away behind Sam Greenwood, and Aston Villa will take the goal kick. Aston Villa, we remember, are looking to reach the 4th round for the first time since 2016. When you look at the exits they've had, I mean, some of them, there are caveats. They had a COVID hit side that went out to Liverpool in 2021. You might remember no first team players were allowed to play because of a COVID outbreak, so they had a side made up of under 21s and under 18s. But they have lost to lower league opposition. League 2 Stevenage most recently in the third round last season. 2 late Stevenage goals. Unai Emery admitting that was his lowest moment as Aston Villa manager. And they're being held by Middlesbrough of the Championship here. Out to the left-hand side they go. Aston Villa, Isaiah Jones with defending to do. Once more for Middlesbrough as John Duran picks it up. And now Jacob Ramsey still over on that left-hand side. Jones is there once more as the ball is into the area, deflected behind, off Jones, and it will be another Aston Villa corner.
Yeah, good play down. Again, it's that left-hand side. You know, Ramsey, Duran linked up the play very well. Jones did brilliantly, you know, stopping the cross, but as you say, here we go again, another set play. And it's funny, McGinn's off them now and Bailey's on them.
Well, he had that effort, didn't he, John McGinn, from the edge of the D. Now he's standing on the edge of the penalty area with Sam Greenwood. Will be swung in by Leon Bailey, and Konsa was there, it's off the post. Good header by Konsa right across the face of goal, and it hits the post. Aston Villa keeping up the pressure. Matty Cash whips it out to the left-hand side, and Bailey once more as the travelling Villa contingent raise their voices. Ricochets behind it, will be another corner. Villa rattle the woodwork.
Do you know what? Vicky should have scored. He's got a free header, 6 yards out. It's a decent header. It comes off the post. He's unlucky really, but an opportunity like that for a player his quality, he should score. But again, it's a third corner again. It's getting more and more exciting. The best chances have come from corners so far.
And Leon Bailey is over there again, once more to take it. Swings it high. Moreno might get it there, and volleys over from the corner of the 6-yard box. It's another one where he is free. Tries the volley, doesn't get the technique quite spot on, and it sails over the bar. But where, oh where, all of a sudden was the marking from Middlesbrough?
Well, I praised Clark in the first half, but he's totally got under the ball there and missed it completely. He should be, you know, doing the quick yards and then getting a touch on that. Moreno sneaked in the back post and should be hitting the target at least. So that's 3 really well worked corners from Villa. Austin McPhee's earning his money today.
Yes, the set-piece coach for Aston Villa as Middlesbrough come down the right-hand side. Here is Josh Coburn, a young striker looking to score for the 3rd game running. Hasn't had much service so far here at the Riverside, with 9 minutes gone in this second half, and we're still goalless in the FA Cup between Middlesbrough and Aston Villa as Villa give the ball away. Picked up by Coburn just outside the area. Barlaser urged to shoot, can't find the angle, and in the end runs into Kamara. Helped forward by Matt Clark, back towards the edge of the penalty area. Headed up but not quite away. Forward by Barlaser once more. Coburn can't latch onto it, and Matty Cash will play it forward, and John Duran is tussling with Matt Clark, and Matt Clark does very well there. Intelligent header under pressure. The Middlesbrough centre half. Maybe he heard you, Neil Lennon, because that was better, wasn't it?
Yeah, much better, although that's not so clever though.
He's played a high ball back to Tom Glover, the goalkeeper, who clears the ball away, but Middlesbrough putting themselves under pressure here, and John McGinn has picked it up left hand side, plays the ball into the area. Clark clears away, not convincing either, but it does find Isaiah Jones, who plays it up to halfway, and now Longley is in a race with Coburn, and Coburn's got the better of him for pace, but Longley made use of that extra half yard and steers the ball back to Emi Martinez. But this game is more open in the second half, Neil.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's really starting to open up now. It's a real cup tie we've got now, and end to end at the minute. Good pace from Coburn now, it surprised me. He's done okay, the kid. He's had to do a lot of work, unselfish work up there on his own, but technically he looks fine, and I can see why he's been spoken about down here.
Yeah, 21 years old as Aston Villa have the ball just inside their own half. As we say, he's in good form at the moment in front of goal. Has FA Cup pedigree as well. Scored the extra time winner against Tottenham here in the last 16 a couple of seasons ago, as Matt Clark has it at the back for Middlesbrough and plays it forwards once more as the flag stays down. Morgan Rogers picks it up in behind. Konsa getting back. Rogers still going inside the area. Challenged by Cash. Emi Martinez claims the ball. Rogers went down. Nothing doing on first viewing, and we don't have VAR. Remember, that looked like a good challenge from Matty Cash. He had to get it spot on because Rogers was about to let fly at goal there as Leon Bailey comes down the right hand side for Aston Villa, cleared away by Matt Clark of Middlesbrough. Rogers will bring it down. Konsa is there. Rogers, now Rogers had got the better of him. Whistle's gone. Free kick Aston Villa as Konsa went down. Neil Lennon, I don't think you agree with that.
No, that's an awful decision. I just thought he was stronger than Konsa. Never fouled him. He just used his body strength to get away from him there. Game's really open now, which is good. Might suit Villa more, but you know, Middlesbrough are playing pretty well at the minute.
And they are dropping into this 5 at the back, out of possession. They're swapping to the 4 in it as Aston Villa have the ball over on the left-hand side. Nice little 1-2 into the area. Ooh, is that a penalty? He had a big think about it. Robert Jones, Villa have won the ball back outside the area. They wanted the spot kick though. They were screaming for it. Matty Cash will keep it alive. Plays it out to the left-hand side. Villa still calm as Moreno gets to his feet. He was the player who went down inside the area. John Duran has it. Edge of the box, 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds between Middlesbrough and Aston Villa at the Riverside on this FA Cup third round day. Out to the left-hand side go Aston Villa. Ball into the area, headed away by Matt Clark. Heads it out and it bounces unkindly for Middlesbrough and out for a corner. No VAR. The Aston Villa players were not happy, particularly Moreno, who went down. He felt that they could have had a penalty, but Middlesbrough have got to stay switched on now. Villa played the corner quickly, played it short. There's an offside flag. The flag goes up over on the far side. Middlesbrough are preparing to make a couple of changes. It's all happening, Neil Lennon. Let's go back to that penalty appeal first off. Alex Moreno was shouting for it.
I've seen him given. I thought I think it was Ramsey. It was a lovely little 1-2 again down that left-hand side. They've been excellent. Good link-up play between Ramsey and Moreno, but there's no doubt there's a tangle of legs. And I've seen them given, so the referee's not giving that. This young Hackney coming off, I think he's been out for a while, Vic. I think he's had a sensational game for being out for so long. And obviously Johnny Howson now coming on, he'll shore things up in the midfield as well. And young Coburn's coming off as well. They've obviously got Tuesday in mind as well.
Yes, and Emmanuel Latte-Lat back from injury is the other player coming on. Goal at Stamford Bridge, Henry Moran.
Chelsea 1, Preston 0, and it's Armando Broja with the header. Lovely header flicked into the far corner in the absence of Nicholas Jackson. A big opportunity for the striker. Well, he's taken his chance today. Chelsea 1, Preston 0.
Thank you, Henry, and a reminder you can listen to that game over on 5 Sports Extra. The other 5:30 kick-off. Swansea still lead Morecambe by 1-0, and Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 up against Cardiff. Cardiff missed 2 penalties at 1-0 as the ball is all the way through with Emi Martinez, who rolls the ball out underarm to Isri Konsa. So those 2 changes, Howson and Latte-Lat on for Hackney and Coburn. Hackney, who, as Neil Lennon says, had just come back from injury, and Coburn, who hasn't really had the service, but when he has had the half chances, hasn't made the most of them, as the ball is out to this right hand side, and Matty Cash for Aston Villa. Now Leon Bailey, who, remember, Aston Villa have the likes of Ollie Watkins and Douglas Luiz and Moussa Diaby on the bench. Just 4 changes Unai Emery made for this game, but he did bring the big guns in the squad. They have the options. As Morgan Rogers intercepts just outside the penalty area. The ball is won back though by Aston Villa and driven in long distance, and Tom Glover does well to hold that from Zedonka and not allow it to spill from his grasp, because John Duran was racing in to take advantage if he did. As Middlesbrough play the ball out from the back once again. Matt Clark has it. And Aston Villa will close down as they play from left to right, but Middlesbrough play around that very well. Neil Lennon appreciative up here in the stands at the Riverside as Sam Greenwood picks it up on that left-hand side. Exchanges passes with Dan Barlatta, and forward now to Alex Bangura. Plays it back to Matt Clark, just inside the Middlesbrough half. Middlesbrough, who haven't been in great form of late. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games, had won 3 in a row before that. Inconsistency, somewhat ironically, has been the hallmark of their season, and the only consistent thing about it. As Morgan Rogers loses possession, you could say the number of injuries they've had, I suppose, as well, as Moreno plays the ball out to the left-hand side, but it's over the head of Ramsey, and Middlesbrough will bring it forward once again. Here is the captain, he's just come on, Johnny Howson, out to the right-hand side, and Isaiah Jones has the runners ahead of him. One of them's Morgan Rogers. Here he is, picks it up, plays it back to Jones, right-hand side of the penalty area. Barlatta infield to Howson, and now Jones once more. Nicely worked this by Middlesbrough down the right-hand side as they look for the breakthrough against Aston Villa, with an hour gone here at the Riverside on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Villa back in shape as Jones picks it up once more, urged to swing it into the area. He will try and go down to the byline. Did he just keep that in? No, he didn't. Martinez claimed anyway. Just overran it.
But he should be doing that more against Moreno. I think he's got the run on him. Nice little, it was great play from building out from the back, from Engel into Barlaser. I think Barlaser's had an outstanding game for Middlesbrough. He makes them tick. And the game's really even at the minute, Vicky. You know, it's hard to call a winner at the minute. Maybe Villa a little bit more because of the quality they have going forward, but in the throes of the game, it's been pretty even.
They're in possession midway through their own half. But you're right, Neil, you know, in terms of the first half, it was absolutely backs to the wall for Middlesbrough, keep Aston Villa at bay, and that game plan worked. But this second half has been a much more even affair between the sides that are separated by 30 places. Middlesbrough 12th in the Championship, Aston Villa 2nd in the Premier League after that record-breaking 2023 under Unai Emery. That victory, last gasp it may have been, but that victory last match against Burnley, their 32nd win in all competitions, a record for Aston Villa in a calendar year as Matty Cash cuts and feels. They're being held at the Riverside though, 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Leon Bailey comes down the right hand side, plays it infield. Kamara took his eye off the ball and it's won by Latte Lat, back from injury himself and off the bench to try and make a difference for Middlesbrough in this second half. Goalless in the FA Cup as Barlatta once again uses that vision and sees Isaiah Jones down the right hand side. He has the runners in red ahead of him. Morgan Rogers is one of them, almost has it taken off his toes. Aston Villa should be able to clear away and do. Here is Jacob Ramsey, space down this right hand side and he sees it, and here is Leon Bailey and Duran is racing forward as well, and Bailey has it approaching the penalty area, challenged by Bangura, and in the end the free kick goes the way of Middlesbrough as John McGinn lets fly. Well, that challenge from Bangura initially was a bit of a 50-50. Robert Jones let play go on, and in the end the whistle goes for a perceived foul from Bangura, and Neil Lennon to my left is laughing.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Both are really good challenges, and how you can give a free kick against Villa for that. You know, Ramsey's pinched Bangura's pocket, and in fact the challenge on Bailey was more of a foul. He let that one go. Ramsey's clearly won the ball and McGinn's in for a shot and he blows it up. Oh, that would drive me crazy, honestly.
Well, Unai Emery has a wry smile on his face, but I think he may be in accord with you, Neil Lennon. A reminder, you can watch this match on BBC One as Middlesbrough come down the right hand side. Isaiah Jones's delivery is blocked away by Alex Moreno and goes out for a throw to Middlesbrough. In possession now on the halfway line. A reminder, more FA Cup commentaries coming up for you later this weekend. Tomorrow 2 o'clock, Peterborough against Leeds on 5 Live, and we have Luton against Bolton over on Sports Extra. Updates on the other ties, including of course Arsenal against Liverpool, and then on Monday join us for commentary from 8:15 of Wigan against Manchester United. Follows a shortened Monday night club. And of course later this evening, following our commentary here at the Riverside, you can have your say with Robbie and Chris on 6:06 on all the day's footballing action. You might be a Maidstone United fan wanting to celebrate as the ball comes down the right-hand side for Middlesbrough into the penalty area, looking for Latte Lat. Good interception by Aston Villa. Ball goes out of play. Middlesbrough corner.
Oh, they get lucky, Villa. It's a brilliant run. Moreno's totally switched off, and it's brilliant defending from Longley at the near post. You know, Jones should have maybe made more of the opportunity, but they've switched off down that left-hand side, and Jones is becoming more and more of a threat for Middlesbrough.
Yes, it was good movement by the substitute Latte Lat inside the area as well. So Middlesbrough corner from the far side. It's swung in, headed up by Conson, not out of the penalty area yet. Bailey will help it on. Jones picks it up, sends it out to the right hand side, flicked on inadvertently by Moreno. Clark can't quite get the shot away on the edge of the 6-yard box. It's cleared by Aston Villa, who are hanging on a little bit at the moment. They've conceded another corner, still 0-0.
Excellent pressure from Middlesbrough. Great ball in again from Barlas. A couple of ricochets, and Clark almost had a shot at goal there. Another corner. Crowd are getting really up for this now. They're really enjoying what they're seeing.
So Barlasa over to this near side to take the corner for Middlesbrough, looking for the breakthrough against Aston Villa. Clark, the centre half, is on the move. One of those red shirts inside the area. It's towards Clark. It's headed away by Conser. Comes out to Isaiah Jones. Pulls it back to Greenwood, who curls the ball in. And it's blocked away as the shot comes in. Pulled back towards the penalty spot. Engel up from the back, trying to get the shot away. Villa clear it away. And it's dinked back into the penalty area. But Martinez will claim under very little pressure and launch the ball long over the halfway line, looking for the run of John Duran. Well read by Bangura, who clears the ball away out to the right hand side, and Isaiah Jones will pick it up. Goal at Chelsea, Henry Moran.
That could be it for Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Preston 0. Thiago Silva just on as a substitute, flicking the header in at the near post from a corner. Very popular goal in these parts. Chelsea 2, Preston 0.
Thank you, Henry. Commentary continues over on 5 Sports Extra. Here at the Riverside, still 0-0, but a much better game this for the neutral in the second half. Middlesbrough and Michael Carrick will be pleased with how they executed the game plan in the first half, but it's more open, more chances, and feels more like your traditional FA Cup third round time. Aston Villa preparing multiple changes down on the touchline. 4 changes. You can make up to 5 in the FA Cup as you can in the Premier League. Unai Emery is going to bring on the big guns. Ollie Watkins, Douglas Luiz ready to come on as the ball is into the area for Middlesbrough. Latte won't reach it. And Aston Villa bring the ball out of defence, but all of a sudden those gaps appearing inside the Villa penalty area, Neil.
Yeah, Middlesbrough have been outstanding the last 5-10 minutes. You know, it's been listen, they're playing really good football as well. I've been so impressed with them. Bangura's done a great job this left-hand side. Barlaso we've talked about. Engels had a very good game. I understand why Emery wants to make the changes, because to be honest with you, Middlesbrough are the better team at the minute.
Yes, that quadruple change being prepared. Zaniolo and Diaby are also coming on. Well, they made 4 changes for this game, Aston Villa. They're in possession midway through the Middlesbrough half, but he brought the big guns, Unai Emery. He brought the likes of Watkins, of Luiz. It's a strong team, even despite those 4 changes. It's not throwing a load of youngsters in. These are first-team squad players, but they're being held by Middlesbrough, who also went strong despite having that League Cup semi-final first leg back here at the Riverside on Tuesday night against Chelsea. Here is Ezri Konsa as Middlesbrough dropping very deep once more. Matty Cash drives, little deflection, nervily cleared away at the back by Middlesbrough eventually. But it's one of those little nicks that could have gone anywhere. And Middlesbrough will breathe a sigh of relief as they play it up towards halfway. Greenwood urged to play it forward, looking for the run of Bangura, but it's well cut out. Right, here we go. Quadruple change. I've done the players coming on. Together, let's do the players coming off. So the first to make way is John Duran, replaced by Ollie Watkins. Straightforward enough. Aston Villa's top scorer coming on. Leon Bailey is replaced by Nicolo Zaniolo. And we'll wrap up those in a moment, because there's been another goal at Stamford Bridge. Henry Moran.
Well, that will be that, and what a way to seal the deal for Chelsea. Raheem Sterling's curling free kick into the top corner. Chelsea supporters up and about. Those that have travelled from Preston look disheartened. Their team have played well. Chelsea, though, a second half barrage. Chelsea 3, Preston 0.
Thanks, Henry. So Douglas Luiz and Moussa Diaby also coming on for John McGinn and Leander Dendoncker. Did we get there? Did we get there, Neil?
McGinn,
I think we did.
Dendoncker, Duran and
Bailey.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. 4 on, 4 off. Always ideal for a commentator. As Latte Lads just to the edge of the area is beaten by Emi Martinez. He's looked good since coming on, hasn't he?
His movement's great. You know, it's brilliant goalkeeping from Martinez. Read the danger. But you know, it's a couple of times Middlesbrough breached the high line. You know, they've been so impressive, I think, Middlesbrough, particularly the second half. Very calm at the back, played some really good football. So, I mean, I understand why Unai Emery's a little bit concerned. Well, not a little bit, a lot. That's why he's made the changes. He's got the big guns on, or the bigger guns on, if you want to call it that.
So, Aston Villa in possession, still 0-0. Here on 5 Live from BBC Sounds. 20 minutes to play. We're heading for a replay as the flag goes up for an offside against Aston Villa over on that far side, and Middlesbrough have a free kick. Well, nobody really wants a replay, I suppose, unless you're, you know, the likes of National League Eastleigh, who did earn a replay with Newport County of League 2 today. But certainly Middlesbrough, who have a League Cup semi-final 2-legged to contend, and Aston Villa, who face Everton away next Sunday, are then due to have their Premier League winter break. Wouldn't be ideal for either side, but as we say, the fact that both managers have gone so strong and taking this competition seriously, they want to get through to the 4th round. And maybe it might take a replay to do it, unless we're to have a goal in the final 20 minutes plus added time. What will that quadruple substitution do for Aston Villa. Here is one of the changes. Zaniolo down the right-hand side into the penalty area. Engel went down and Bangura doesn't wait to hear the whistle go and just shepherds it behind. He's another, there are so many Middlesbrough players, Neil, that we could pick out who have really embraced this game plan, the tactical approach to this game by Michael Carrick, and have put in brilliant performances. And Isaiah Jones and Alex Bangura as wing-backs, I think, are foremost amongst those.
Yeah, they've been terrific, absolutely terrific. I think Engel at left centre-half has had an excellent game as well, very composed. Doesn't look like a centre-half, maybe he's in there for a reason, but he's read the game brilliantly and passed the ball brilliantly as well. He's hardly put a foot wrong. I've been so impressed with Middlesbrough, and their attitude to the second half's been great.
And we are still goalless here at the Riverside as Bangura is just pulled down there. A little bit of pushing and shoving between Alex Bangura of Middlesbrough and Matty Cash of Aston Villa, and referee Robert Jones is over quickly just to make sure that doesn't simmer and boil up into anything more. So Middlesbrough with the free kick on the halfway line, 0-0 with Aston Villa. Aston Villa, who have only failed to score in 2 of their 29 games this season. That was against Liverpool and against Nottingham Forest as Diaby closes down, but Glover clears away. Lines open for 606 08085 909 693. Give Robbie and Chris a call. Book your call now. As Bangura picks it up on this left-hand side. Will there be late drama to discuss with them here at the Riverside? It's currently goalless on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Engel plays the ball poorly into the Aston Villa penalty area. It's cleared away. Matt Clark will send it out to this left-hand side and plays it in field now. Picked up by Howson, and then Greenwood goes down and wins the free kick. Matty Cash will go into the book as well. That's what the home fans were baying for, and their cries have been answered, Neil Lennon.
Yeah, it was coming. He's already committed a foul earlier, had a little bit of a ding-dong with Bangura. He's committed another foul. Great feat from Greenwood, little drag back, takes it away from Cash, and he commits a foul and left the referee with no other alternative than he deserves that yellow card.
So 0-0 here. Aston Villa having to defend this free kick that Middlesbrough will take from just inside the Villa half. Chelsea leading Preston North End by 3-0. Sheffield Wednesday 3-0 up against Cardiff. Cardiff missed 2 penalties at 1-0 down, and Swansea of the Championship are 1-0 up against League 2 Morecambe. Those are all 5:30 kickoffs as Middlesbrough lose the ball down by the corner flag, and Kamara wins the free kick for Aston Villa as well. Still the biggest story of the day, 6th tier Maidstone United beating League 1 Stevenage by 1-0 to book their place in the 4th round for the first time in their history. They're the lowest ranked side left in the competition. National League Eastleigh also, as we mentioned earlier, earning a replay with Newport County. No Premier League exits so far today. Newcastle, Sheffield United, Brighton and Bournemouth all going through. Bournemouth and Brighton with a bit of a scare in both of their games, but progressing ultimately to the 4th round. If you want to have your say on that or any of the other action across the football world today, give Robbie and Chris a call. Lines open now for 606, which follows the conclusion of this commentary at the Riverside. 08085 909 693. The Aston Villa fans chanting the name of Ollie Watkins. Hasn't really had the chance to get on the ball yet. Might do so here as Aston Villa work it down the left-hand side. It's in field to Douglas Luiz. Cash is in space and Luiz uses him. Has the option to play it forward. Zaniolo was straight offside, which means that Cash goes out to the left instead. And Moreno chasing Isaiah Jones, who does bring him down. And it's a free kick over on the far side, right in front of that sizable Aston Villa travelling contingent. Neil Lennon.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at it here. Was it a foul? Oh, there's not much in that. If that's a foul, then they should have given a penalty for the challenge Jones did on Moreno. Anyway, my only concern with Middlesbrough now, they played really well, but they haven't created many chances, Vicky. I can't remember Martinez having a great deal to do this second half, even though the performance has been excellent. Villa have had made the goalkeeper work more than Middlesbrough have theirs, and again, it's a set player where they've been really dangerous second half here.
Yeah, they've hit the post with the header from Esri Konsa. John McGinn has drawn a fabulous save from Tom Glover. Ate Lat has looked dangerous at the other end since coming on, but it's looking dangerous rather than creating those dangerous chances. Really testing Emi Martinez. Can Aston Villa test Middlesbrough from this set piece? It will be whipped into that crowded 6-yard box and can't be converted on the line by Moreno. Flicked away by a Middlesbrough head, out for another corner. Oh, fine margins, Neil Lennon.
It was just a little flick inadvertently from, I think it's Isaiah Jones or Bangura. And Moreno just didn't have the inches to get up there and nod it in. He was free at the back post. Another great opportunity from a set play.
So Douglas Luiz will send this corner in for Aston Villa. It's low, not quite dealt with by Middlesbrough. Wasn't the best corner from Douglas Luiz, and eventually is cleared away by Isaiah Jones. Latte is chasing, but steered back to Martinez by Matty Cash. And out to the left-hand side go Aston Villa once more. 13.5 minutes plus added time to play. Still goalless here at the Riverside on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. A reminder, you can watch the conclusion of this game on BBC One as well. And we are delighted, Neil Lennon and I, to have your company with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. Longlay's gone down, won a free kick for Aston Villa, and the momentum of the game is just settling in Villa's favour as we enter these final stages.
Good call, Vicky. I wonder if there's a little bit of fatigue coming in from Middlesbrough now as well. The 4 substitutions have sort of settled Villa down a little bit. And this is the most important part of the game now, obviously, but it's been a good game so far.
Another set piece. It's played into the penalty area, headed away by Clark. Villa were shouting for a handball, but in the end it has gone the way of Middlesbrough. And we are still goalless. Yes, it's a good point about fatigue, Neil. It's something that Michael Carrick highlighted in their last match against Coventry, which they lost here by 3-1. Was really happy with the first half, but just ran out of energy in the second. And he was at pains to stress it's not for the lack of trying. They're just so short on numbers in terms of the injuries that they've got out and the players away on international duty. Welcomed a couple of players back from injury in Hackney and Latte today. We've got Matt Crooks on the bench as well, who's also coming back from his own absence, but they are stretched at the moment in terms of numbers. They've given it everything. They had to go through the whole of the first half essentially, seeing very little of the ball, which is always exhausting mentally and physically when you're trying to keep this different shape that they're used to as well, as the ball is over the top. Johnny Clark is in there and will just about do enough as it goes back to Tom Glover. Matt Clark it was back there defending, but looked uncertain with Watkins lurking, and they're struggling to clear the ball away. Clark does so now out to the left hand side, and Engel under pressure from Matty Cash, who wins it back for Aston Villa. Zaniolo will keep it alive. Nicely played by Kamara. Cash won't latch onto that though, and then Zaniolo went diving in, doesn't make contact with Engel, but that might have been one for the referee to have a bit of a look at if he had. Engel's done really well there and slides it forward. Latte is onto it. Rogers is up there with him. Latte into the penalty area, cuts back, can't get the shot away. Smothered by Martinez, who eventually dives on the ball. Well, the angle was disappearing and vanishing all the time for Latte. There's a bit of afters there as Aston Villa get the play moving down the right hand side. Longley and Conta chatting to Latte. Chatting is perhaps a little bit kind, arguing certainly as Villa come down the left hand side into the penalty area. He dies in the back of the head here, Neil Lennon. Down the other end they go. Can't make anything of it, and it's behind for a Middlesbrough goal kick. But Latte and Rogers were up there. Could Latte have played it to Rogers, or was he entitled to go for goal from that?
A couple of things first. Zaniolo was so lucky that he didn't make contact with Engel. He did brilliantly Engel and then slipped a lovely ball into Latte. He's got the legs on him, but Konza makes a great recovery, and you're right, I think he should have slipped somebody in. And then down the other end there's a break from Ramsey, and Barlasser again. There's brilliant covering from a midfield point of view, and sees the ball out for a goal kick. It really is getting to the nitty-gritty part of the game now, and you just worry for Middlesbrough that Villa just have that bit of extra quality at the minute.
Yes, and as we say, they have looked dangerous at times, Middlesbrough, but they've not been able to seriously test Emi Martinez. To be fair, he did just about manage to get the shot away, Latte there, and Martinez, in a combination of Conta and Longley, managed to smother it. He won't win that header, Latte, and Conta will send it forward. You say he was lucky there, Zaniolo. He was, because even for that challenge, the referee Robert Jones has gone back and booked him. So had he made contact, could have been a bit nastier.
I thought it was a shocker. You know, and if he makes proper contact, it's a clear red card for me. So lucky boy.
Good refereeing as well, we have to say, from Robert Jones to allow the play to continue. The excellent play from Engel to set Middlesbrough away, and then to go back and show the yellow card to the Villa substitutes. into the final 10 minutes here at the Riverside on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and we are still goalless between Middlesbrough and Aston Villa. Here is Moussa Diaby, one of 4 substitutes that Unai Emery has thrown on as Aston Villa look to end their recent hoodoo in the FA Cup. They have won it 7 times, most recently in 1957 when they beat Middlesbrough en route to lifting the trophy. As Diaby picks it up inside the penalty area for Villa, forced to turn, plays it back to the edge of the box. Douglas Luiz tries to dink it in, it's cleared away by Isaiah Jones and headed towards halfway. Luiz wins the header for Villa as they win back possession. Here is Matty Cash, plays it out to the left hand side, ball is pulled back, Diaby complete miscue, won't fall to Watkins, and Middlesbrough clear away with Isaiah Jones, who skips past Jacob Ramsey. Neil Lennon's thoughts on that complete air shot from Diaby in a moment, but Middlesbrough might hit Villa on the counter. Latte Lat appeals for offside, not given, he then goes down. Concert has run away shielding the ball, but he has been penalised for the free kick. The whistle has gone and it will be a free kick to Middlesbrough. And Latte Lat, what a difference he's made since coming on.
His movement's been terrific. He's caused the 2 centre-halves a lot of problems, but what an opportunity, Vicky, for Villa. There's an exceptional crossfield pass from Cash. Moreno's worked a miracle to get the cut back on the volley and push it back to Diaby. He's got the whole goal to aim at, and he completely air swipes it. Massive opportunity. Now we've gone down the other end of the field. Sorry, I just want to pay a tribute. Is this Barlasser coming up? What a game he's had. He's been exceptionally good. Exceptionally good. You've been so impressed with him today. But yeah, I mean, Middlesbrough's still in this, but they shouldn't be, because Diaby should have wrapped that up there.
So, Longlay's gone into the bit for that challenge, which has given Middlesbrough this free kick. They're making a triple change. As Neil has mentioned, Barlasser has come off, Alex Gilbert has come on for him. Dale Fry is on for Isaiah Jones. He's had a brilliant game. And Hayden Coulson comes on for Alex Bangura. You know, they've really run themselves into the ground, those two, Jones and Bangura. But Michael Carrick knows that they're in this. It's 0-0 and they have a chance of wouldn't even be snatching it, of causing an upset, which it would be against the Aston Villa, who are doing so well under Unai Emery. But they have really fought themselves into this game in the second half. They withstood and absorbed the pressure in the first. It's been equal in the second. Middlesbrough's ball into the area, looking for Fry. Big shouts for handball, offside flags up. And the shouts are curtailed.
Good job VAR's not here today, because there's a bit of shirt purling going on there as well. But you know, Vicky, for a 0-0, it's been a really good game. You know, 2 teams, you know, excellently coached and, you know, play, you know, really good football. So again, it's going to be interesting to see how these changes Michael has made affects them in the last sort of what we've got, possibly 10 minutes.
Aston Villa in possession midway through their own half. Just a quick one on VAR. We spoke about this before the game. There's no VAR here. Haven't had that many contentious decisions. Get your thoughts on that in a moment, whether you've missed it at all, Neil Lennon, because it's a big talking point at the moment. Zaniolo curls from the edge of the box, almost from our angle. It looked as though it was heading top corner, but it was just past that far angle of post and bar. That would have been special from Nicolo Zaniolo.
I thought it was in. You know, what a beautifully step inside, and what a hit, and it's a whisker away. Glover's beating all ends up. That's just a glimpse of the quality that these players have. They can turn a game, you know, in a flash. Absolutely brilliant skill from Zaniolo. Lovely first touch, almost Mahrez-like on the half volley, killed it. Little drag back, little step inside. Oh, he's a whisker away. What a brilliant effort.
It was outstanding from Zaniolo as Middlesbrough have the ball with Vandenberg just inside his own half. Aston Villa will play it forward, looking for Ollie Watkins, and now Douglas Luiz will bring it forward as our referee plays advantage. Forward from Kamara, nice turn by Ramsey, and Villa are starting to go through the gears. Here is Watkins, hadn't had much service, many sights of goals since coming off the bench to try and find the breakthrough for Aston Villa as Konsa forces it forward. Douglas Luiz looking for Diaby inside the area, headed away by Clark and helped on by Engel, out of play. VAR, have you missed it at all this evening?
No, I haven't actually. But you know what it's like, you know, it's not the technology, it's the decision making from, you know, the committees or the referees. That's the most contentious thing. But yeah, there's been a flow to the game because we're not stop starting all the time, and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, Aston Villa in possession. They've given it away. Middlesbrough have it over on the far side. Still 0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. It is one of those big decision. I think you'd miss it, but it is refreshing knowing that what happens on the pitch stays on the pitch. Ball into the area. Latte-Lat can't reach it. Good goalkeeping by Martinez. Comes out to the edge of his 6-yard box, but again Latte-Lat causing real problems with his movement up front for Middlesbrough as Aston Villa have it on the far side. We're still 0-0. 4.5 minutes plus added time to play. We're heading for a replay unless we're to have an FA Cup hero.
That's brilliant goalkeeper from Martinez, but excellent play from Rodgers down the right hand side. And you know, if Martinez doesn't read the cross, Latty's got a tap in. Brilliant play from Rodgers, and again it's end to end. Here come Villa.
Here is Ollie Watkins, plays it back to Douglas Luiz. 606 follows us with Robbie and Chris. 08085 909 693. Get your calls in now as Aston Villa have it on the left hand side. Ball is deflected behind. It will be another Aston Villa corner.
Well, they've backed up a few this game, haven't they? You know, and they've been really threatening from them as well. So Douglas Luiz is going to take it this time. This will be an in-swinger rather than an out-swinger from the previous ones.
Well, we know he has the ability to score direct from a corner. He's done it a couple of times for Aston Villa. What can he do here? We're getting into that stage of the game where a goal would almost certainly be the winner in this FA Cup third round tie. Plays it short, Douglas Luiz to Moussa Diaby. Back to Luiz once more. And now Matty Cash, who will let fly a little deflection. It's so cruel. It is so cruel on Middlesbrough because it takes it past Tom Glover into the back of the Baronet, and Matty Cash runs over to those celebrating Aston Villa fans in the corner because they have broken Borough hearts late on. They lead by a goal to 0, but it's all about that deflection on that drive from Matty Cash.
It's the old adage, Vicky, if you don't shoot, you don't score. And that's what happens. You know, it wasn't a great corner. You know, they were struggling a little bit, and Luiz then rolls it on the edge of the box to Cash. They didn't get out quick enough. He's hit the shot. It's sort of glanced off Latte, and you know, unfortunately for Glover, he can't get back to it. And well, it's a shame that something like this may settle a game of this quality. But you know, they're going to have to really go for it now, Middlesbrough, and create something. And you know, in games that are close, set plays are always really important. And to be fair to Villa, they've been really dangerous from them. And it's just sneaked in at the near post as well.
It's one of those deflections. It comes off the backside of Latte-Lat. It swerves as though it's going to miss the post, and then at the last minute, it curves inside that far.
The spin has taken it in.
It's a ridiculous deflection from a Middlesbrough point of view. He's so unfortunate. He's jumping, trying to block the shot. But it could be the winner for Aston Villa. Matty Cash with it, and Middlesbrough, who will take so much from the way that they played this game, must find a late response. Otherwise it will be Aston Villa breaking that hoodoo through to the fourth round for the first time since 2016. Ball is all the way back with Martinez. Aston Villa just need to see it out now. We have 90 seconds of normal time to play. Let's head to Stamford Bridge. Another goal, Henry Moran.
Yeah, the longest, the most protracted VAR check I think I can remember. Eventually Enzo Fernandez does have Chelsea's fourth, a close range finish. There were boos as the check went on and on and on. It didn't feel very joyful, I have to say. Chelsea do lead though, 4-0 against Preston.
Thank you, Henry. Closing stages of that game over on Fire Sports Extra. See, that's what we've missed, Neil. Long VAR checks. Everyone waiting to know what's going on. But, you know, again, we have to say, had there been a contentious decision, VAR might have been paid for by the fans. Or maybe not. Middlesbrough trailing by a goal to 0. Douglas Luiz sweeps it forward, looking for Ollie Watkins. He's up against Dale Fry, and the white shirts are coming forward now. Can Villa get the goal that surely would secure their place in the fourth round? Luiz urged to shoot, plays it to Diaby instead. It's intercepted, and Middlesbrough will bring it forward. We're into the final 20 seconds of normal time, and the fourth official has the board up, ready to go, as Middlesbrough win a free kick. 4 minutes of added time at the end of this FA Cup third round tie. That late goal from Matty Cash looks to have secured Aston Villa's progression through to the fourth round. But can Middlesbrough find a way to level the tie up late on? Matty Cash, Villa's goal scorer, has it. Huge deflection off Latte-Lat, certainly played its part. A reminder, lines are open for 606 08085 909 693. You might be a Middlesbrough fan listening to us who wants to come on and talk about how your team have done tactically in this game. How proud are you of this performance? What about Aston Villa? Is this a get out of jail, or do you think on the balance of play you deserved it? Have your say with Robbie and Chris. 08085 909 693, or on any of the other footballing action across this jam-packed day of football in the FA Cup third round here on 5 Live. Middlesbrough win possession midway through the Aston Villa half, coming forward now down the right hand side. Greenwood has it just outside the penalty area. Here is Sam Greenwood. Kamara goes in, good challenge. It will be a corner to Middlesbrough. We played 1 minute of the minimum 4 added on. They need an equaliser.
Just watching if the goalie's going to come up, maybe a bit early still, but Clark will be a threat. Frey's on now, big boy. Just all about the delivery. Vicky can then make Aston Villa defend this really, really dangerous set play.
So Sam Greenwood is over to the far side, as Neil Lennon mentioned. Dale Fry, Middlesbrough through and through, is up from the back. Matt Clark as well. Rav Vandenberg is there too. Sam Greenwood to take this corner from the far side. Middlesbrough trailing Aston Villa by a goal to nil. It's whipped in, cleared away by Ollie Watkins. Engel will bring it down and send it back out to that right hand side, and Greenwood once more. He's closed down by Moreno. Lifts the ball high into the penalty area. Latte Lat will head it on. Little bit of hesitancy. Flag's got up over on the far side against Dale Fry, who'd stayed forwards. And the free kick goes the way of Aston Villa. Goal at Swansea, Owen Gwyneth.
Yeah, it's 2-0 to Swansea, the championship side. They're on their way to the fourth round. Jerry Yates, the striker, with the second. A poor defensive clearer. The ball fell to Yates at the edge of the box, and he hooks the left-hand shot, footed shot to the left-hand corner of the goal. Swansea 2, Morecambe 0.
So Chelsea 4, Preston 0. And Sheffield Wednesday 3, Cardiff 0. The other scores in the 5:30 kickoffs in the FA Cup. Cardiff, remember, missing 2 penalties at 1-0 down early on in that game. Here, it's the Aston Villa fans who are in good voice. They're ending this recent poor run in the FA Cup, heading for the fourth round for the first time since 2016, unless Middlesbrough can find an equaliser, and they could be in here inside the penalty area. The shot from Gilbert is blocked by Aston Villa at the back. Jacob Ramsey sliding in. It will be another Middlesbrough corner, and surely we're getting to the stage into the final minutes of added time where goalkeeper Tom Glover's got to go forward.
Yeah, what a recovery tackle from Ramsey. It was a brilliant move again from Middlesbrough, and just Gilbert didn't have the pace to get away. He gets a shot away, but fantastic from Ramsey.
Tell you what, Emi Martinez will be right up there. He's trying to get up there at the start of the second half. Not quite. Corner to Middlesbrough. Swung in, headed away powerfully at the back by Zaniolo. Kept alive and spread out to this right-hand side, but the offside flag is up. The delivery from Coulson back out to that right-hand side, and Greenwood was offside, and the flag is up, and Aston Villa are nearly there. 20 seconds of added time to play, and Emi Martinez will take all the time he can, and that just tells you how close this has been. A late deflected goal from Matty Cash, though, looks as though it is enough for Unai Emery's side. Martinez gestures his players forward. The referee has his arm in the air. He'll soon, in a matter of seconds, have the whistle to his lips as well, Robert Jones, as Martinez launches the ball over the halfway line. And there is the full-time whistle. Aston Villa through to the fourth round of the FA Cup for the first time since 2016. But Neil Lennon, they were made to work so hard against Middlesbrough of the Championship, and in the end it is a cruelly deflected goal. Matty Cash's strike going in off Emmanuel Latte Lat that sees Middlesbrough defeated.
Really good cup day. The game really opened up second half. It was a technical battle in the first half. Middlesbrough had done their homework and played very, very well defensively, and then the game opened up. Although just before half-time, Middlesbrough had a great chance to take the lead, and that would have had a big psychological effect on the game. But Villa, showed their quality, worked the goalkeeper. Glover made a couple of great saves. It's really difficult on Middlesbrough, but probably on chances, Villa edged it.
And it is Aston Villa who are through to the fourth round. It is their supporters you can hear celebrating here at the Riverside, although the home fans as well are showing their appreciation to their side, who gave it everything, was so disciplined in so many aspects of their game, but in the end didn't have enough up front to hurt Villa decisively. 6:06 coming up on 5 Live in a few moments' time. 08085 909 693. Have your say with Robbie and Chris. But there's been another goal at Hillsborough.